Indie Soul Rhythms with Moochie Alfonso, bringing you the very best in indie soul.
Hi, this is Ali Starr, hanging out with soul brother Moochie Alfonso on Indie Soul Rhythms. It's got to be the grooviest show on the planet. Keep it locked in.
Well, hello everybody. Today we are beyond excited to have the Prince of Sophisticated Soul, Will Downing, with us. It's such a pleasure to have you here, and we can't wait to dive into your journey. Shall we get started?
You got it, man. Good to be here.
Thank you. We're just going to start a little bit about your background. If you can tell us how you got started in the music industry.
Wow. We're going all the way back there, huh?
Yeah.
I started in the early 80s, primarily as a background vocalist. And I've worked on, I can't even count the amount of albums. I see like you have, I don't know if there's a video wall or wall behind you, but
Yeah.
with some of the artists behind or over your shoulders. So I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of people. And eventually that kind of morphed into me doing a bunch of 12-inch records
Right.
under different names, not my own. So I was, let me see, who was I first? I was a group called N, the initials N and V, and they were on Sire Records. So we had a couple of singles out. And then I became Pilot, which was on Prelude Records. Then I was RT and the Rockman Unlimited on Criminal Records.
Right.
Then I was the Goon Squad for the movie The Goonies. We had a record out called Eight Arms to Hold You. Then I became Wally Jump Jr. in the Criminal Element. And
Yeah, was that you? Well,
yeah,
Junior. Wow.
yeah. That was me, Arthur Baker,
Yeah.
and a gentleman named Craig Derry. So the three of us, we were Wally Jump Jr. in the Criminal Element. So Arthur was a
Uh-huh.
producer, and me and Craig Derry basically did all the vocals, the lead vocals. And that morphed into my solo career, which was in 1988.
Right.
And that was, hold on, let me see if I can show you which album was it? Oh, there I am. Big orange one right there. That very first
Right.
record.
Okay.
I had all that hair.
Right. Oh, that's brilliant. I guess most people didn't know that. I didn't know that, that
Really?
you were part of Wally Jump Jr. with Arthur Baker. One of my
Yeah.
favorite producers, actually.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
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 Arthur was pretty incredible. Well,
He
not was.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him actually about a month ago, so he's doing fine.
Oh, amazing stuff. So we're gonna come to today. So
Okay,
yeah, just gonna give you your flowers and say congratulations on the release of Lashes.
thank you.
What inspired the creation of this mini album, and how does it differ from your previous work?
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you appreciate it and you like the record. This album was and it's going to sound strange, but I call it the Kiss My Butt record.
Right.
Mainly because a lot of records that I've done in the past, and this is album number 28 for me. So I've
Yeah,
done quite a few records. There's always been something that I've had to do on a record
right.
that was more commercially viable and something that uh, a publicist, a record company, an A&R person, a president, or whatever in a label wanted me to do because it was something that they could sell.
Yeah,
And on this record, I kind of went back to my roots and just sort of did the record that I wanted to do, something that I sincerely felt deep inside musically. And it was something that I thought was missing or know is missing
mm,
from, world of music today. So I just went back to my roots and made it a lot more musical. And none of it makes sense. There's no symmetry from one song to the next. It's just different genres of music or different styles of music that I really enjoy that I recorded. And that's it.
yeah. I actually read somewhere where that album has been described as an antidote to the usual holiday music.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah. And so, what was the message or the mood you were actually aiming for? with this album? I know it's different. I mean, I've listened to, I haven't listened to all 28 albums, but I've listened to
Uh-huh.
a big chunk of music. I think
Well,
since
the interview's over. You gotta listen to all 28 albums. It's over. We can't talk no more.
but it's different to everything that I've listened to. Yeah.
Initially when I started the album, it was almost like a tribute to baritone vocalists, which is
Right.
something that you just don't hear anymore.
Mm,
There's a lot of men who are fantastic vocalists, don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but a lot of folks singing in the tenor range, higher vocals for higher range. And there's very few guys out there who sing in my register, which is a little lower.
Mm,
So it's kind of like me and probably Gregory Porter and maybe like a Kurt Erling or something like that. We're the last of the crooners, the last of the baritone slash bass singers.
yeah.
And I wanted to kind of bring that back into the light and back into people's ear when listening to music. You know, it's like there's some variety to what people are listening to. So I decided to do that. That's the way it initially started. And then somewhere along the way, we sort of veered off track and we started doing tracks like Mama Used to Say, which I
Yeah.
did in a falsetto. So it's kind of like, two contrasting voices or ranges of voices. So one is obviously higher because, I kind of mimicked Junior on
Yeah.
that one and singing his range. But then you have songs like In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning,
Yeah.
which is more, in the much lower range and in a more classic sound.
Wow. So how did this arrangement of Mama Used to Say come about? And what did you hope listeners would take away from your version? Because it is completely different from Junior's.
Oh, it is completely different from
Completely
Julius.
different. You've actually made it your own.
Well, that's the whole point of doing a
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
If you're gonna remake or interpret a song, I think that you need to make it your own. I mean, there's no point in doing it if you're just gonna do it exactly the way the original
Sure.
artist had done it. The arrangement came originally from Marcus Johnson. I don't know if you know Marcus, piano player Marcus Johnson,
Wow.
out of the DC area. Really, really a phenomenal keyboardist and phenomenal producer
Right.
as well. And he came to me with a song because he wanted to do it on his album. And originally it was just a track. So it was not Mama Used to Say. It was just a track that he had. And they said, you know what I hear on top of this track? I was like, no, what are you hearing? He goes, I hear Mama Used to Say.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I said, come on, man, get out of here. And I started messing with it here at the house, and it kind of morphed into Mama Used to Say. So it worked out. It worked out really well. So it was his brainchild to come up with this idea and this concept of doing it. And I just sort of followed the roadmap and then kind of went back and replaced all the tracks
Yeah.
and made it a little bit more palatable for the modern era.
Wow. Pretty amazing. Yeah, so looking at other tracks, there's another track as well that I'm actually interested in, Forevermore. Uh,
Mhm.
I just love the saxophone on that track. How did you collaborate with Howard Levi and Marion Meadows to achieve this stunning arrangement?
Oh, okay. Well, they're on two different songs. So,
Yep, there's
uh,
Rashida as well.
yeah. Oh, okay. So you said Rashida. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say Rashida. So Rashida, that is originally a John Lucien song. I
Right.
don't know if you're hip to John Lucien, or if the listeners are hip to John Lucien. If not, they need to go check him out. I mean, John
Absolutely.
was probably one of the premier baritone vocalists of his era,
Sure.
and of all time, to be brutally honest with you. And it's a song that I've always loved, and I've covered John Lucien songs before,
Mhm.
and I always just loved the song. So I decided to interpret it, and I kind of heard if you listen to the arrangement of the song, there's like a double time thing on the second verse where it kind of goes from this halftime thing to this, bop, 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 like police, like the police.
Yes.
And I that sort of thing in the song. And I said, man, it would be great when Sting, I believe it was Sting, originally had done his song can't think of the song, but it was his solo album, and he was featuring Branford Marsalis playing soprano sax. And I
Right.
said, it would be great if I sort of followed that concept and that roadmap and the perfect person for those kind of like long tones, but beautiful melodies is Marion Meadows. So, if and Aaron Mary and I have been friends for probably 30 years. So he was the perfect guy to call for it, and he wore that tune out. So for those of you who are watching the video, you should go back and listen to it, and then go back and listen to some early Marion Meadows stuff.
Sure.
Uh, so that's for Rashida. Howard Levy for Forevermore, which is a remake song, which was originally done by a group called Urban Knights.
Right.
And that was produced by Maurice White, and it was featuring the guy who wrote the song, who also plays in my band, a guy named Mike Logan. And Mike actually sung the lead vocal on that song as well. And it's a song that I've always loved. And when we were doing the demo, I said, yeah, I probably need like some little solo stuff in there. And Mike was playing something on the keyboard that was very reminiscent of a harmonica. And I said, hey man, that's a great sound. That's a great harmonica sound. He said, oh no. I was actually, kind of going for like a sax thing. I said, man, but I hear harmonica. And he goes, I know this great harmonica player, a guy named Howard Levy.
Right.
And I said, well, let's call him. And we called Howard, and Howard came in and did his thing, and that's how Forevermore will hopefully be forevermore.
Wow. Wow. So I've had one song on repeat since it came out, "The Power of Love."
Oh, the Power Club, uh-huh.
I think this is the quintessential sophisticated soul, in my opinion.
Oh
And
boy.
what was the creative process for this original song, and how does it reflect your current artistry?
Well, it's the only original song
Yeah,
on the album. So out of the six-song EP, that's the only original song.
yeah,
And it is probably the epitome of, who I am musically. And I did the song with a gentleman, a guitarist who actually plays in my band, and we've done quite a few productions over the last, 10 or so years together. His name is Randy Bolin. And it was a groove that he initially came up with. And it's kind of got like a Sade-ish
mm,
kind of feel to it. But we jazzed it up even more and just sort of made it our own. And speaking of lyrics, the lyrical content in the song, it just kind of speaks to the title itself. It's the power of love, what the power of love will make you do, how
yeah.
it makes you feel, how it inspires you, all of those sort of things. So the power of love, you can do anything with the power of love.
No, it's a brilliant track.
Man,
Um,
thank you.
but if you were to pick one track from Lashes that from that EP, which one would it be? Which one is your favorite?
For my money, I love them all. As all artists normally say, that they're like my children. That's what all artists
Yes.
can't love one more than you love another. But my personal choice, I actually love the song "In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning."
Yeah.
That's like my favorite. It was originally done. Well, it's been done a million times. Frank Sinatra's done it, but the version that I love the most and the quintessential version for me
Yeah.
is by an artist named Johnny Hartman. And Johnny Hartman is probably one of the greatest vocalists that's ever been on the planet, but not really recognized.
I was just
Uh,
about to say that you are mentioning some names that are underrated, and
yeah,
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 he's one of them, and there's quite a few that I know of, and or that I refer to that people just never gave their props to.
right.
Johnny Hartman being one of them, like Donny Hathaway being another,
Mm,
DJ Rock being one, Michael Wyckoff being another.
yeah.
From my mind, like these guys were phenomenal, and
Mm,
they never really got their due. So this is kind of my way to introduce Johnny Hartman to people who were not really familiar with him. And not to mention, the song is just phenomenal. The song in the wee small hours of the morning, the lyric I can identify with. If you've ever loved and lost, that's that's a lyric that you can certainly identify with.
yeah,
That's my daughter in 2023. And when I sing that song, because I always think about it like crazy late at night, like in the
yeah,
weeks, everybody's asleep, the world's asleep. And I think about it. So in the wee small hours of the morning, that's when you miss those people the most.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Um, so you've been crowned the Prince of Sophisticated Soul. How do you define your sophisticated soul, and how do you see your role in shaping and preserving this genre?
Well, someone who I was doing an interview with, a college interview, was at a college station, said that I was the Prince of Sophisticated Soul, right? And I said, well, why can't I be king? And he said, well, the king is Luther Vandross, who you actually have a picture of.
Yeah.
Uh, so, the king will always be king to me,
And
Luther, without a doubt, in my opinion, the greatest vocalist to ever have graced the planet. He's number one for me, for my money. So to be even mentioned in the same breath, excuse me, to be mentioned even in the same breath as someone like him is an honor. So I think that with that being said, my job is to keep the tradition of R&B and or soul music alive and going in the way that I know it. So I grew up on the likes of your Luthers. I grew up on the backs of your Stevies. I grew
Mhm.
up on the backs of all the people pretty much that you have over your shoulder, the Whitneys, the Barry Whites, obviously the Marvins.
Mm.
Um, that's the way I loved R&B. That's the R&B that I love today. And that's what I grew up on. That's, what I've always done. I've done mine with a twist of jazz elements on top of it or intertwined
Yeah.
with R&B and soul. And I've made my sound unique, but it's pretty much old school R&B. So that's my job to kind of keep it going the way I remember it. And hopefully someone else will pick up the flag and keep
Yeah.
on rolling. And hopefully, that style of music and the way of doing that style of music won't disappear.
Right. Right. True. What do you believe sets Luscious apart from your extensive catalog of music? And what does it reflect in terms of your creativity and at this point in your career?
Well, at this point in my career, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of doing what I truly feel at the moment, whether it has any symmetry to anything else that's out there. I could honestly care less. I've done enough. I'm sorry, but I'm at a point now where I've had an abundance of hits or semi-hits that we have to perform live, and people come out and they come out to hear those classics. Uh, with the way the world is today, I don't even know if people are even paying attention to new music the way I would like them to. So I just sort of do what I enjoy doing. If someone picks up on it, great. If they don't, it's their loss, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yes,
yeah,
it's about being authentic to yourself, isn't it?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's more important than anything else. I see a lot of artists that try to morph into something and someone that they're not to try to keep up with the current times.
Yeah.
And people know a fraud when they hear it and when they see it. You could dress it up all you want.
Yeah.
At some point, someone's gonna come to the realization that like that's really it is you. Obviously, you recorded it, but it's really not you, and it's not the essence of who you are and what you do best. So, be yourself, be your authentic self, and people will pick up on it. We've survived this long,
Yeah.
and maybe someone will pick up on it, and you'll get whatever you want out of, your journey of being a recording artist, whether it be popularity, whether it be popularity, fame, whether it be money, whatever it is. At
Yeah.
some point, if you stay on the road and you keep being the best you that you could be, something's going to come out of
Yeah. Speaking of live performances, I know you've been on the road like during the holiday season.
it.
Um, and I've watched a couple of videos from from like I think one of them you were performing in London some time back. You've got a strong connection with your audience. How
Oh
do
yeah.
you, yeah, how do you think sorry, what do you hope your new EP is going to offer to your new listeners? Because obviously, um, with radio, we are introducing you to another group of people who probably have never heard of you, and
Uh-huh.
it's probably the first time they're hearing of Will Downing. What do you hope this will offer this type of new listeners?
Well, I think it's a great way of representing who I am. I mean, there's nothing about the record that is not who I am. So it's amazing. If this is my introduction to those who were never hip to me before, I'm happy with it. Whatever you play will
Yeah,
tell them who I am as an artist, as a musician, as a writer, as a producer, whatever. All of those things, everything that I need is represented on this new record. If you want to groove, you obviously have the power of love. If
yeah,
you like classic stuff, a classic kind of jazz, traditional jazz, then you can always go to the wee small hours of the morning. If you like something that's a little off center, musically, then you can listen to Mama Used to Say.
yeah.
So there's something on there for everyone, but you put it all together, it's who I am. I mean, it speaks to me, speaks of me, of who I am as a human being, lyrically and musically. I'm ecstatic about it. Production wise, I'm ecstatic about it. So, I mean, you can play this record, 50 years from now, and it'll still be relevant.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. And can we expect a UK tour or live performance to showcase
Um,
Lashes?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I'm always talking to promoters in the UK and around the world.
Yeah,
And I'm always working. Matter of fact, after you and I finish, I got to jump on the road and start rehearsing for some shows that we have coming up. Very soon. It's over the weekend. So
yeah,
I'm always out on the road. We'll incorporate the new from songs from the Luscious Project, along with the classics that we have to do when we're out on the road. So if I were in Europe and or in the UK, songs like A Love Supreme or The Love We
yeah.
Share, Wishing on a Star or Free, and we incorporate the new stuff into those classics as well. And it makes for a great evening of music. So it's a musical night. And we have a lot of fun at the same time.
Indeed. So looking ahead, you've achieved so much in your career, and what's next for you? Any upcoming projects or dream collaborations?
I'm actually working on project number 29, even as we speak.
Wow.
As nutsy as it sounds, it sounds bizarre to even say I'm working on a 29th album, but I'm working on that even as we speak. Hopefully, we'll have it out kind of by like, like October of next year. I mean, I'm sorry,
Of
October
this
of
year.
this year. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm working on that now. And as I said, I'm always touring. So there's always something going on. And, a musician's and an artist's career changes with an email, a text, or a telephone call. So whether I have something on the books or not, eventually, this thing is going to ring. Or someone's going to send me a text, or someone's going to send me an email and say, "Hey, man, I'm putting together a tour. Would you be interested in it?" And
Sure.
next thing you see me out on the road with someone, or I'm bringing someone else out on the road. So as long as I'm breathing, I believe I'm going to be singing and recording, and just kind of keep up with me, and see where this thing goes.
Yeah. So I'm now thinking of there are a lot of up and coming artists, independent artists. What would be your advice in terms of how they can have such a long career as yourself?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. That's the one thing that I can always say. Look for the best songs
Mhm.
that you find. Uh, the only competition that you have is you.
Right.
So when I record, that's the whole thought process is to be better than I was on the last project. If you did great on album number 27, all
Right.
right, can you be better? Push yourself to be better. Find the best songs, find the best producers, find the best musicians, find the best singers to kind of help you become the best that you could be, and try to outdo yourself and be yourself more than anything else. Be your authentic self.
That's wise words. And I hope any of our listeners who are listening to this will take that and, always remember to be authentic.
Good.
After 37 years of, in the industry, you're working on album 29, you say that's your next project. What continues to drive your passion for creating music? I mean,
Moochie, I'm not good looking and smart like you. So I don't have very many options. No, I just sincerely still enjoy making music. Some people call it crazy because, it's really the industry has changed so much. People aren't buying as much as they used to.
Yeah,
So it's almost it'll deflate you, as an artist, and it'll take the spirit out of you in some cases.
yeah,
But I still enjoy the process of making songs. I still have something to say musically, so that kind of keeps me going more than anything else. And as I said, I'm a little older now, so it's not like I can really pivot and do something else.
yeah.
That's all I got. Just go.
No, this has been so amazing. I really appreciate you taking your time to chat to us.
A pleasure,
Really
man.
appreciate your time. Um, any other, last words you have for our listeners or up and coming artists? Anything, any wisdom you can impart?
Well, more than anything else, I want to say thank you for all the folks that have kind of been with me from the beginning
Mm,
to the current day. It's been a long journey. As you said, it's been 37 years since I started, and I'm still here,
yeah,
only because of the kindness and the support of folks who have followed my career over these 37 years. So I'm more thankful than anything else. And as far as the artists are concerned, I pretty much said it. Just be
yeah,
yourself, be creative, take chances, be you, enjoy it. I mean, don't, I hate people that say they do things for likes and thumbs ups and
yeah,
do it because you love it. That's why you do it. Go out there and perform and let people see you and take in the full breadth of what being an artist is all about. Go out there and do live shows and record and collaborate and all of that. So, it's a great business. God has blessed all of us with talent.
mm,
You don't don't let it be wasted of you sitting in your house and singing in front of a computer or whatever it is,
yeah.
waiting for people to give you a thumbs up or singing on YouTube or whatever it is. Go out there and participate. That's what music is. It's inspiring. What you may sing or play or do will inspire someone else, and they'll keep it going. So just be yourself.
Yeah, those are truly inspiring words. Thank you again. But before we let you go, we're going to ask you to do us the honor of introducing my favorite song, Power of Love.
Sure. What's going on, everyone? It's me, Will Downing, aka the Prince of Sophisticated Soul. Here's a song taken from my latest release. Yeah, album number 28. The album is entitled Luscious. The name of this song is The Power of Love.
Thank you.
Sometimes I still can't believe that you're mine, but it's true. My oh my, everything that I've searched to find is in you. In my heart, you are my desire. In my mind, you fulfill the dream. In my soul, I still feel the fire burning for you and me. It's the power of love. Power of love. It's the power of love. Power of love. Sometimes I catch you staring at me and wonder what you say. 'Cause baby, you are my living dream fantasy, made just for me. I want you every time you tell